What's up, y'all? Supernova back again for a video. Just to get straight to the point and then save the unnecessary stuff for last. So in my last video, I made a video on how to pull your valve springs out to put the inner springs back in after breaking in a flat tappet cam on a motor such as this or any other overhead valve motor. And I showed y'all how to use that tool right there in my last video. But apparently last weekend I had to make some corrections to the car, which I'll get to in a minute. And then after running the car, not even driving it, I was running it, and there's a rocker arm making some noise. So I adjusted both sides and got that side done. Got over here, got all of them done, except one of them kept making racket, couldn't figure out why. So I shut off the motor, and these valve locks, one of them had popped out, and I'm not exactly sure which rocker it was, but this rocker was beaten on that valve lock, and that's why it kept making all that racket, and I couldn't even get it to adjust right. This is a 1.52 ratio lift rocker arm. I probably won't stay with these. I might go with a set of shaft mount aluminum full rollers. I just went with these because I really ain't had too much luck with regular roller rocker arms, aluminum ones anyway, because they wind up riding up against these poly locks and everything else. So I just went with those because I know they work. So it had popped out, and as you can see, the rocker was beating up against it. Now I'm not sure exactly what material this is. It's supposed, I don't know if it's hardened steel or just plain steel or what, but this had popped out. Now I made sure my valve locks were seated in. So apparently with the added spring pressure, because I got dual springs on these, okay, it must have, loosened this up and popped out, and the rocker arm was holding it in. This side was getting beat to hell and back, as you can see. Now these I pulled, these bad ones, I pulled out of this valve spring right here. The ones I'm about to show you came out of these, which are these right here. I don't know if you can see, but the square groove was starting to get beat too by the valve stem. Now the valve stem ain't hurt at all. It's just the locks that were starting to take a beating. And I guess because of high RPM, because I got this thing, I got the rev limiter set at 6,800 right now, something like that, which is the highest it's been since I've got this motor built and tuned up. I've got most of the tuning issues worked out. I got the timing worked out. Got the carburetor almost lined out. I'm fixing to start tuning on the nitrous kit, but I had to buy a kit of titanium valve locks, and to make sure these things are titanium, I took a magnet and tried to pick them up, and they wouldn't stick because titanium is non-magnetic. So put these in and see how they work. They should hold up a whole lot better than these, because it's a good thing I decided to adjust my rockers, because had I not caught that and I would have went to go do a test run with this car, that valve could have clean come out that spring, and this whole motor, which cost me $5 grand to build just in parts, could have just got ruined like that. Because the block it's a Dart block. It's built to support, I think, 1,500 horses. You know, it's made to be cooler. But had that valve dropped, it would have ruined the block. It would have ruined the piston. Set of pistons were like $900 for this car. It may have ruined the rods. That's another $900. The head, that's automatically $600, just one cylinder head. And then, you know, God knows what else. So good thing I caught it. I'm just gonna go ahead and replace all the valve locks, even though I just did this a couple weeks ago, taking valve covers off and trying to get all that stuff done. But so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and, you know, just the set was $200, you know, for a full set of these titanium valve locks. But it's, you know, kind of, it surprises me that I was able to catch this, because this set of valve locks, which probably don't cost no more than $10 for the pair, all right, and that's overshooting it. A little $10 part could have ruined $5,000 worth of work. So good thing I caught it in time. So I'm gonna go ahead and take all the rocker arms off and get my pistons top dead center on each one, supply air to it, and use my little valve spring tool to change them out, and then get it back together. Now on to the next thing that I did last weekend, as far as making some corrections to the car. When me and my dad bought this car, I pulled the motor out of it. It had, let me show y'all what it had. Oh crap, that's my gasket. It had these motor mounts on the frame, something like this. These are brand new. Had motor mounts like these on the frame, and it had this style bracket on the block. All right, so I struggled very hard to find a new set of these for both sides of the motor to put in this car, because every time I try to look it up, it wasn't coming up. So hold on a second, I gotta get the flashlight. That's my new stall converter. It's gonna go in the car today. I'll get to that in a minute. So when I put the motor in the car, I figured that the motor was sitting kind of low. And one day I was up underneath there looking at my shift cable, because, you know, I was trying to make some adjustments to it, and I realized the oil pan was literally sitting on the frame. It wasn't crushing the oil pan, but it was literally sitting on the frame. And every little bit of vibration or whatever this motor was putting out, it was going into the car and then radiating back up into the cab of the car and everything else. I mean, it was brutal. I mean, the motor's balanced, but when you got the motor sitting where it's not supposed to be, the harmonic balancer and the flywheel can't do its job, because you got vibrations going into the frame and then radiating back up into the motor. So I had to correct that problem, and now that I've lifted the motor up, the motor don't shake nowhere near as bad. It runs so much smoother. It feels like a sewing machine when it's running, other than at idle with the camshaft. So But apparently this car came with the wrong motor mounts and brackets, so I found the correct ones. Got the correct mounts, which are these brackets down here. And then I already had these motor mounts right here, but they wouldn't fit in the brackets. So I got the correct brackets, and just by changing one side I corrected the problem. So I changed both sides. And this side I had to weld because the motor mount holes wasn't lining up just right. I don't know what the previous owner did with the frame, or because they had separate holes drilled to fit the wrong motor mounts. I don't know what they did with the original holes. So I had to weld the bracket on there. The motor is square, and it sits up a little bit higher, and it runs so much better. Even the carburetor is at the correct angle and everything else. So I had to do that last weekend, which wasn't too bad. I had to change out my radiator because the other radiator I had in here was a dual core, and it just was not doing its job. It was not keeping the car cool. The motor would overheat to like 210 degrees, and then after that it start spitting out of this right here, and then overheating, and then I have to shut it down. And the motor's running 200 psi of static compression, so that's, you know, quite a lot. So I got me a 4-core radiator for $200. Got the electric fan off of the other one and mounted it up on that one. It is bigger dimension wise, but it's, you know, also thicker too. It's got 4 rows of cooling on it versus 2, and it actually fits a little bit better too. I just about covered up the whole hole where the radiator goes. I relocated my cooler from up here to down there, and right now I got just zip ties holding it, but it's pretty stationary. That's my trans cooler, and it works very well. I mean, even with the motor up to 210 degrees, the trans temp don't get no higher than maybe 150. So, but if you ever plan on building a car like this, like from the ground up, because I've redid the brake system, I rebuilt the rear end, rebuilt the transmission. The entire motor is brand spanking new, from the oil pan to the freaking air cleaner. It's brand spanking new, every single nut, bolt, everything. And with building a new motor comes with tuning issues and changing parts, because so far I've had to change the radiator. I had to take out a brand new radiator, put a different one in because the other one wasn't working right. I've had to take out brand new freaking motor mounts and brackets because apparently those are the wrong ones. I've had to change out a brand new electrical water pump because it wasn't pumping enough. I went from a 35 gallon per minute to a 55 gallon pump, and that one actually fits better, and it's a billet housing on the water pump, and it works so much better. What else have I had to change? The stall converter, the one I showed y'all in my tool room, I gotta change that out because the brand spanking new stall converter I got in here now, the stall is way too low. It's supposed to be like a 27 to 2900 RPM stall, and because of the motor setup I got and the weight of the car, I can only get like a 1500 stall out of it, and I need at least $3 grand, maybe 2800. I need at least 2500 RPM stalls, what I need. So I gotta change that out. I've had to change out a brand new shift cable because the other one was a wire cable, where this is like a steel cable. So because the other one I wasn't able to grab first gear manually, now I can grab first gear manual. So it's a lot of work trying to, hey, the garbage man's here. It's a lot of work trying to get this car lined out. I've also had to change my brake booster because the other one wasn't working too good. I can't, you know, get too mad about that because, I mean, the booster was only 47 years old. So, and then that's so far what I've had. And then now I got these valve locks I gotta change too, you know, brand new valve locks because they came with the heads. They're brand spanking new. Now I gotta switch to titanium because they're not gonna work with this valve spring pressure. So hopefully there won't be too much more other things I need to change out on this car. I am running a little bit larger ring gap because this is a motor built for nitrous. I probably could have went a little bit smaller on the ring gap, piston ring gap, but I'm gonna have to run an oil catch can because the ventilation system is gonna need it. So, but aside from that, update on the update on the 350Z. Update on the Z car. I plan on working on it some whenever I get done with this Nova, which I ain't got too much more left to do. I got the money set aside for a cage on the Nova and stuff like that. So, but yep, this car doesn't need nowhere near the work that the Nova did because this car, all I gotta do is build the motor and build a fuel system for it. So, you know, the rear end is good, it can handle the power. The transmission's good, it can handle the power. The only thing I might upgrade is the clutch. I might do away with some of the accessories like windshield washer fluid. I've already dealt away with the AC system because, I mean, I could have ran it, but it was just way too close to the downpipe for the turbo, and the turbo would sit right here on top of the AC lines. So I just went on ahead and did away with it. And you know, I'll probably be rolling with the windows down most of the time anyway. But this will be coming soon. I will be making more videos with the motor build on it. So hopefully, now I got a good paying job. Hopefully next month, which is the month of May, I'll be able to get that, become a trainer at my job. Hopefully make, you know, a little bit more money. Be able to get the ball rolling on this car here. So, but I got the block done. All I gotta do, I got the rods, got the pistons. I just need to gap the rings. I need to get the rod bearings, the main bearings, and I'll be able to start putting the motor together. So that will be coming soon. It's just last year when I sold my boat, I was gonna start working on the Z car, but then when my dad passed away, after we went in halves on this car, I had to go ahead and, you know, just finish this thing out. And it's come a long way. And but it needed a lot of work. It needed to be rewired. It needed a new steering wheel, I mean a new windshield, built motor, whole new cooling system, rebuilt transmission, rear end. It needed anything and everything. So, but until then, y'all take it easy. Peace out. God bless. See y'all on the next one.